Welcome to Journey Through Justice. Over the next few minutes, we'll delve into the American Civil Rights Movement, exploring its deep impact on the history and fabric of our nation. This movement, spanning from the late 1800s to the 21st century, symbolizes the struggle for equality and justice in the United States. We begin with the transformative constitutional amendments. The 13th Amendment, ratified in 1865, abolished slavery throughout the United States, marking a profound shift in the nation's moral and social landscape. The 14th Amendment in 1868 guaranteed citizenship and equal protection under the law to all persons born or naturalized in the U.S., including former slaves, laying the foundation for civil rights. The 15th Amendment in 1870 was a groundbreaking change, granting African American men the right to vote and acknowledging their role in American democracy. Then in 1920, the 19th Amendment broke centuries-old gender barriers, granting women the right to vote, a monumental step in the fight for gender equality. Despite these constitutional advances, African Americans continued to face severe oppression under Jim Crow laws. These laws, prevalent in the southern states, enforced racial segregation in public and private life, creating a chasm in American society. The Ku Klux Klan, a group rooted in white supremacy, emerged during this period, inflicting terror and violence against African Americans, undermining their rights and freedoms, particularly their voting rights. In the face of this adversity, several influential organizations arose. The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP, formed in 1909, committed itself to combat racial discrimination, utilizing the courts and public advocacy as key tools. The United Farm Workers, spearheaded by Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta in the 1960s, focused on improving conditions for farm workers, many of whom were Chicano and faced exploitation and poor working conditions. The American Indian Movement, initiated in 1968, addressed the grievances and rights of Native Americans, spotlighting issues of sovereignty and cultural preservation. Women's rights groups also gained momentum during this period, challenging deep-rooted gender inequalities and advocating for women's rights across various spheres of life. A pivotal moment in the movement was catalyzed by Rosa Parks in December 1955 in Montgomery, Alabama. Her act of defiance, refusing to surrender her bus seat to a white passenger, ignited the Montgomery bus boycott. This year-long boycott, led by Martin Luther King Jr., became a powerful symbol of nonviolent resistance and collective action, leading to a Supreme Court decision that declared segregated buses unconstitutional. This victory was a significant milestone in the movement, underscoring the power of peaceful protest and unity in the face of oppression. Martin Luther King Jr. emerged as a central figure in the civil rights movement. His leadership during the 1963 March on Washington, where he delivered his iconic "I Have a Dream" speech, is etched in history as a defining moment for civil rights. King's eloquent words, envisioning a future where people are judged by their character and not their skin color, became a rallying cry for equality and justice. Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta's efforts in advocating for farm workers' rights led to significant labor reforms and improvements in working conditions. Their use of nonviolent tactics, such as the Delano grape strike, brought national attention and support to their cause, highlighting the plight and struggles of farm workers. The civil rights movement was characterized by a spectrum of strategies. While Martin Luther King Jr. advocated for nonviolent civil disobedience, the Black Panther Party, founded by Huey Newton and Bobby Seale in 1966, represented a more militant response to racial injustice. They focused on African American empowerment, self-defense against police brutality, and community development programs, creating a multifaceted approach to civil rights. The legislative victories of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965 marked monumental progress in the fight for civil rights. The Civil Rights Act outlawed segregation and discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin, challenging the entrenched system of racial segregation. The Voting Rights Act aimed to overcome legal barriers at the state and local levels that prevented African Americans from exercising their right to vote, effectively dismantling mechanisms that had long suppressed the African American vote. The 24th Amendment, ratified in 1964, was another significant step forward, abolishing the poll tax in federal elections. Poll taxes had been a tool to prevent African Americans and poor whites from voting, and their elimination represented a crucial advance in ensuring democratic participation for all citizens. The confrontation in Little Rock, Arkansas in 1957 between Governor Orville Faubus and the federal government underscored the deep-seated resistance to desegregation. Faubus's decision to block the entry of 9 African American students, known as the Little Rock Nine, into a public high school exemplified the ongoing struggle for civil rights. The intervention of President Dwight D. Eisenhower, who sent federal troops to escort the students, marked a significant assertion of federal authority in support of civil rights. The civil rights movement reshaped the United States, leading to increased minority participation in politics and public life, and paving the way for future reforms and legislation aimed at promoting equality and justice. Landmark court cases such as Sweatt v. Painter, Brown v. Board of Education, and Hernandez v. Texas played vital roles in the legal battle for civil rights. These cases challenged the legal basis of segregation and discrimination, setting precedents that continue to influence American society. The Black Panther Party's establishment marked a shift in the civil rights movement, highlighting the diversity of approaches and strategies within the fight for racial equality. Their focus on self-defense, empowerment, and community programs provided a different perspective on the struggle for civil rights. Our journey through the civil rights movement highlights the enduring struggle for equality in America. The movement, characterized by its diverse strategies, leaders, and monumental legislative and legal victories, stands as a testament to the resilience and courage of those who fought for justice. Its legacy continues to inspire and challenge us to work towards a more inclusive and just society. Thank you for joining us on Journey Through Justice. Keep learning, keep questioning, and keep fighting for what's right.